If you're doing a manual task for the third time, that's a great time to start thinking about how we can begin to use AI to be able to either automate and drive efficiency or improve the quality of the output. The challenge with repetitive tasks is oftentimes they become boring. And as a result of becoming boring, we lack consistency in completing those tasks. And or maybe we don't do those tasks as well as we could. So the quality of that outcome is not great. What if you could just simply ask through natural language for an agent to build an agent for you in order to be able to complete either the entire task, multiple steps, or to augment parts of those manual workflows? And that's exactly what ZoomMate can do. We're going to take a look today at ZoomMate AI agents inside of chat. So let's go to the Zoom application. We'll click chat, and then we'll select AI agents inside of the toolbar. Now, right there, you'll see initially a list of agents that are built in. Think of these as templates. You can simply click on one of these templates and view it. You can access and duplicate that agent and make it your own. So for example, if you're in sales, by clicking on sales, you can then configure that agent to be able to maybe ingest your own sales process or information about your products or services that you offer from your website. So we can train that agent on your specific information in order to be able to make that agent more valuable to you. Now, what we're going to do, though, is build a new agent. And we do that by simple natural language. So I can type in a prompt. In this case, we're asking this particular agent to build an agent for us that analyzes my calendar. And in this case, I want it to be able to identify all my upcoming meetings for the rest of the day. I want it to be able to access all past meetings that are relevant to the upcoming meetings, have it look through my Zoom chat channels, have it look through any documents that have been shared with me or that I have created. And ultimately, we want to match the topic of the meeting that's coming up with anything that might be relevant to it. And we want to create a meeting preparation document, right? So the output should be a document that summarizes open action items, specific discussion points, and or challenges that we particularly face. And then we also want it to propose an agenda, because I join so many meetings that don't have an agenda. I think it would be great for any agent that goes back and does all this amazing research to be able to use that to create a proposed agenda. Now, the agent goes quickly to work. As you can see, it's already named the agent. It's setting up a profile. It's building up a set of capabilities, AI instructions, and then ultimately has some suggested prompts in there as well. And just like that, here in about maybe 60 seconds or less, we have an agent that is very, very capable of being able to help us in our day. So we'll click on configure, and you can see I can access information on the back end about this agent. Now, only the creator of the agent can reconfigure the agent. However, that agent can absolutely be shared with other individuals to utilize as well. Now, in this case, we've created a meeting prep agent, and that meeting prep agent prepares us for upcoming meetings. As you can see, it scans the calendar, meetings, chats, and any documents in order to be able to pull action items, discussion points, and create a proposed agenda. Now, the next section is avatar. I can upload my own image of the avatar, or I can just use AI to be able to create one. We'll select one of these here for the speed purpose. The next section is AI agent instructions. Think of this as a job description you're given the agent, what the role of the agent is, any specific tasks that we're asking them to accomplish. And I have found the more you ask an agent to do, the more you open the door to hallucinations or challenges. So there's a balance here that we want to have an agent well trained to be able to execute a very specific set of tasks, right? The more open you leave this, the more flexibility that agent will have. The next section is workflow. What's the logical flow of work that we want them to accomplish? Look here first or there next, look for this specific information, etc. The next is the output. What do we expect in return when a user actively uses the agent? And then the next section is constraints. Now, this was all written by the agent. I didn't put any of this in there. It was pre-created, so it may not be perfect, but it's a really good start. If you need to make edits, you can click this little edit button, and you can come in here and make any changes that you would like. Now, the next section are skills. I like to think of skills as a standard operating procedure I give to the agent. In this case, I'm saying, here's how you read Zoom chat, or here's how you pull relevant meeting content. I can add many different skills that are available for sales or engineering or marketing or human resources, or I can actually even create my own skills as well by adding personal skills. Now, in this case, this is a custom skill I previously created. If I want to create additional skills, I would just have to click on the skills button and add those later after the agent's been created. The next section are added suggested prompts, right? These are prompts that will show initially when individuals access the agent. And these are meant for guides, to give some guidance on what's possible, what maybe specific task or agent request that this particular agent was built for. And you can modify these just by clicking the principal, modify the title, as well as the prompt that the agent would use. The next section are tools. Think of tools as access to different systems. These could be Zoom systems, like if we want to grant access to Zoom phone calls as well, I can do that. But there are many different Zoom-related access points, right? So if we want to pull in whiteboards, for example, in our research process, I can select it. If I want to give it the ability to be able to create a whiteboard, it can do that as well, right? So nice flexibility of being able to add many different tools as well as third-party tools. So by clicking on Add from the Marketplace, I can add tools like Salesforce or Gmail or Outlook or SharePoint or Slack or Apollo, Asana. There are many, many different tools in here that you can add to. And again, just by simply selecting them and then choosing what specific functionality you want this agent to be able to have access to. Maybe I want to give the ability for this particular agent to create a page within Notion. Just by selecting that, we then have Notion access in this particular agent. Now, in this case, I don't have a Notion account, so I haven't yet connected it. If I did, I would have to log into my Notion account and grant authorization for this agent to be able to use it. The next thing is knowledge. Knowledge is the data that we're training the agent on. So by simply clicking Add Knowledge, you can see I can add websites. So this could be perhaps maybe a website, right? And you do have to put a valid URL in there, so it will check that full name with HTTPS in there. You'll have a file you can upload. You can associate specific meetings. So maybe you want to put an agent together and train that agent on some training that you just have had and allow users to be able to ask that agent of maybe 5 or 6 trainings over a couple weeks period. You can drop all those trainings by just simply selecting them as the knowledge base. And then now you no longer have to have, regular questions or follow-ups with individuals. They can go to the agent first. You can pull data in from the hub, which could be things like whiteboards and meeting notes. You can pull in documents, spreadsheets, etc., or a chat channel if you want to link a specific chat channel. Maybe we have a channel dedicated to our products and we want to pull that knowledge from that channel in there as well. So once you've inputted all your knowledge, you can click Save. Once you've edited and done the system, you'll get access to your meeting prep agent. Now, in this case, we have the ability to be able to either prompt down here and just simply ask a question, or I can click on this hero prompt up here to get started. In this case, we'll just get going with my day today. So it's going to look at the rest of the day and prepare a full brief for each upcoming meeting. Now, I can modify that prompt in the configuration. So if I want to get more specific in what the output should be, I can certainly do this. Now, because the agent has access to my calendar and my meetings and my documents, it's just going through the process of doing all that back-end research now. So it's found my calendar, it's looking through, and I can see those details, or I can hide those details, right? Just by simply clicking on them. So it's going through many steps in the process in order to be able to complete this. Now, I might not run this every day. I might run it every day that I have a lot of meetings or maybe not a lot of meetings. So in this case, I only have one meeting left today. So it's looking at all the open action items. So it's pulling the meeting title as well as the attendees in this meeting to look for anything associated to this 123 Main Street project. It's pulled several open action items that might be relevant for me, including a document that links right here that I can click on to view, some key discussion points, and a proposed agenda. So it gives a 30-minute meeting window agenda here, and it breaks down each of those proposed topics. And then it looks like I do have another meeting here, the third-party meeting example, that's shortly after that, and it's going back through this process. Now, this is a very long output. We might want to streamline the way in which that agent works with this data. So by just simply clicking on the Edit button, I can begin to either configure and make changes on the back end, or I can just simply state what changes I want to make to the agent. So in this case, I'm going to say the output's too long, right? We want to make sure that we are more concise and more direct to the point in terms of the output. So now what we can do is use an agent on the back end of this agent to be able to make changes and modifications to this particular agent. So it's going through now to determine how we can make more succinct outputs, and it's updating likely the instructions that agent has access to and the expectations and what that output should look like. So right there, it's already done now. We just hit done, and we'll go back, create a new chat. Now I can engage with this agent again. You can see all my chat history is off to the right. And let's go ahead and run that same prompt. And we should get a modified output. Now, the goal here is to be able to, over time, tweak that agent in a way that it gives you very consistent, very reliable, and outputs that align to your expectations, right? And the goal here is the more valuable that agent can prepare you, the more simple you can use it, and you can begin to start really creating significant value as a result of the agent. Now, in this case, it found the two meetings again, and it can begin to start building out the details. And we should see here that the output is quite a bit more succinct. There you go. So you're seeing more color coding, more bold font to be able to kind of identify very important things, bullet points, right? Very, very succinct, very simple, making it easier and more intuitive. Now, the other really nice thing you can do is schedule these. So this is something that I'd like to be able to do maybe every day. So by clicking on the three dots and clicking View Automated Tasks, I can see that I don't currently have any task for this particular prep agent, but I do have some tasks for other agents as well. Now, let's go ahead and do a daily summary. So let's say at 6 o'clock, and we're going to say, this is really more of a morning agent. At 7 a.m., summarize all my meetings and emails and send me a daily overview, right? So I can run that prompt, and I have the ability to be able to schedule an agent. Now, if I didn't dictate what agent I want to use for this particular automation, it'll ask me what specific agent do I want to use. In this case, it's clarifying one of three it looks like I could use. I think this is the one we built. All right, and we'll just add that here. And we'll run that. So now what we're doing is scheduling that particular process to run automatically at 7 a.m. every day. And I should have probably said it does say every weekday. So in this case, it's going through the process and it's creating that automation for me. So I don't have to remember to press that button. Now, in this case, I can say you can always ask me if I need to make access to certain tools, or I can always allow. So it's a difference of whether or not we want to have a human in the loop every time or not. So I'll just sit in this particular case for this demo, I'll say always allow every day. It's just going to run automatically at 7 a.m. and it's going to deliver that output for me. So very good. It's all scheduled, ready to go. Now, when we look at our scheduled tasks, we do have this daily meetings and email overview. I can go ahead and run it now just to validate the output. I can make changes to it. I can enable or disable that if I want to stop it from running for a while. Maybe I'm on vacation or something. Or I can access the settings and see everything it has access to on the back end, what tools, what it has the capabilities to be able to do in each of the different tools that it has access to. Overall, the goal here is with AI agents to be able to streamline and deploy an agent that you can engage with to be able to offload some of these manual tasks that you're doing on a day in, day out basis to be able to improve the quality of work throughout the day.